The spaceport on Terminus 7 never truly slept, but it had its quiet hours. Marcus Chen adjusted his worn leather jacket against the station's perpetual chill as he walked through the cargo bay section, his cybernetic leg clicking softly with each step. A souvenir from the Kepler conflict that had ended 3 years ago. That's when he saw her. The dragon woman, a dracony if he remembered his xenobiology correctly, was slumped against a stack of cargo containers, her iridescent scales catching the dim overhead lights in shades of deep purple and gold. Her wings, magnificent even in their folded state, were draped protectively around 3 battered travel bags. She was asleep, her chest rising and falling with the slow rhythm of exhaustion. Marcus stopped, his soldier's instincts immediately cataloging the scene. The Draconi were a proud species, warriors and scholars who rarely showed weakness. For one to fall asleep in a public spaceport, vulnerable and alone, spoke of desperate circumstances. He approached quietly, his boots making no sound on the metal deck. Up close, he could see the signs he'd missed from a distance. Her scales were dull in places, lacking the luster of proper nutrition. Her clothing, once fine, was worn and patched. One of her bags had a broken strap, hastily tied together with cargo netting. "Hey," he said softly, crouching a respectful distance away. "Miss, you okay?" The Dracony's eyes snapped open, brilliant amber orbs with vertical slits that immediately focused on him with predatory precision. Her hand went to her side where a weapon would have been, but found only empty air. She relaxed slightly. But tension still coiled in her frame. "I'm fine, human," she said, her voice carrying the distinctive harmonic undertone of her species. "Move along." Marcus stayed where he was. "Name's Marcus Chen, and I've been where you are. Too tired to care about dignity, just trying to get from one day to the next." He nodded at her bags. "Waiting for a ship?" The Draconi's jaw tightened. For a moment, Marcus thought she'd tell him to leave again. Instead, her shoulders sagged. "Waiting for a ship I can afford, which is taking longer than expected." "How long have you been here?" 4 days. Marcus felt something twist in his chest. 4 days in a spaceport, sleeping on the floor, too proud or too broke to ask for help. He knew that particular kind of hell. "I'm Isabella," she said quietly, as if the exhaustion had finally stripped away her last defenses. "Isabella Torkesh, formerly of the Draconi Science Corps." "Formerly?" Her laugh was bitter. "My ship was destroyed in a pirate raid, along with 3 years of research. The Corps said the data couldn't be recovered, so they terminated my contract. No ship, no research, no position." She gestured at her bags. "This is what's left." Marcus stood slowly, his mind already made up. "My ship's in Bay 7 Delta, the Wanderer's Rest. She's not much, a modified cargo hauler, but she's got spare crew quarters. You can crash there while you figure out your next move." Isabella stared at him. "Why would you do that? You don't know me." "No," Marcus agreed. "But I know what it's like to lose everything. After the war, I spent 6 months drifting from station to station. Too messed up in the head to hold down a real job." He tapped his temple. "PTSD's a bitch. Someone helped me back then. A Centauri freighter captain who didn't have to give a damn but did anyway. Figure I should pay it forward." "Humans," Isabella muttered, but there was no venom in it. "Your species is bafflingly irrational. By all economic and survival logic, you should leave me here." Marcus grinned. "Yeah, we're funny that way. We do this thing where we help people even when it doesn't make sense. Drives the galaxy nuts." He held out his hand. "Come on, at least get a decent night's sleep in a real bed." Isabella looked at his hand for a long moment. Then, slowly, she reached out and took it. Her grip was strong despite her exhaustion, scaled and warm. Marcus helped her to her feet, and she swayed slightly before steadying herself. "I can carry your bags," he offered. "I can manage my own," Isabella began, then stopped, looking at the broken strap. "One of them you can take." Progress, Marcus thought with a smile. The walk to Bay 7 Delta was quiet. Isabella moved with the careful precision of someone pushing past their limits, and Marcus matched his pace to hers. When they reached the Wanderer's Rest, a battered but sturdy Corinthian-class freighter, he keyed open the airlock. "She's not pretty," Marcus said, "but she's home." Isabella stepped inside, her amber eyes taking in the worn but clean interior. "It's warm," she said softly, as if she'd forgotten what that felt like. Marcus showed her to the spare quarters, a small cabin with a bed, storage locker, and personal terminal. "Showers through there, galleys down the hall. Help yourself to anything in the cooler. I'll be in the cockpit if you need me." Isabella set down her bags, then turned to face him. "Marcus Chen, I don't understand your species. This makes no strategic sense." "Maybe not," Marcus said from the doorway, "but it's the right thing to do. And sometimes that's enough." He left her there, the door sliding shut behind him. As he made his way to the cockpit, he heard the sound of the shower starting, and then, faintly, something that might have been crying. Marcus settled into his pilot's chair and looked out at the stars. Humanity had a reputation in the galaxy, sometimes foolish, often reckless, but unfailingly, stubbornly kind. It was the thing that made them both weak and impossibly strong. Tomorrow he'd help Isabella figure out her next steps. Tonight, she could rest. That was enough.